Have you ever felt like you're carrying a weight that's not even yours? A heaviness you can't explain, like ancestral grief, emotional baggage, or old mental loops that just won't quit. That's not your imagination. That's the shadow of oppression and the 47th evolutionary pattern of change. In this video, I'm going deep into how to turn that darkness into light, suffering into grace, and confusion into clarity. But I'll first start with the parable of forgotten threads. At this point, please close your eyes and visualize the story I am about to share. Once beyond the boundaries of time, there was a vast library that held the memories of every soul, the library of forgotten threads. Within it lived a young scribe named Kalen. His job was to gather fragments of forgotten lives, scraps of pain, echoes of trauma, memories unresolved, and weave them into a great tapestry of understanding. Kalen's chamber overflowed with dark, tangled threads. Every day he tried to make sense of the chaos, but no matter how hard he worked, the tapestry remained unclear. The more he tried to force the patterns, the more it knotted. One night, overwhelmed and ashamed, he threw the threads into the fire, but instead of burning, they glowed. Each knot began to unravel, releasing a memory, not just of pain, but of wisdom hidden beneath it. A voice rose from the threads. You were never meant to untangle them by force. You were meant to feel them one by one and remember. From that moment, Kalen stopped trying to fix the past. He began to listen. As he did, the tapestry formed a picture, not of sorrow, but of transformation. And for the first time, the library began to glow. This 47th challenge of evolutionary change is the path from oppression to transmutation and then the grace of transfiguration. But before any light can emerge, we meet the shadow of oppression, a mental and emotional fog that paralyzes us beneath the weight of what hasn't been resolved. It's not just personal, it's ancestral, collective, generational. It's the mental pressure to escape, suppress, or rationalize pain that's actually asking to be witnessed. This shadow often manifests as feeling lost in one's own suffering, avoiding emotional confrontation, internal shame or guilt that seems impossible to name, or the haunting feeling that you are somehow broken or burdened beyond repair. The companion to the shadow of oppression and its fear of the void is the shadow of dishonor and the fear of punishment, its repressive nature of trying to be proper, and its reactive nature of being inappropriate. So you can see how this shadow and the other, dishonor and oppression, feed each other in order to keep us and our light from emerging, from truly feeling and honoring our ancestry, what needs to be transmuted and felt again. For those interested in doing deeper personal alchemy and wish to have a means of accelerating an understanding of shadow work, over the last 3 to 5 years, I have collected a wealth of information from various esoteric systems, namely the I Ching, human design, gene keys, the chakra systems, and astrology, as well as integrating them with the human genetic code. And in this chart, you will find the details of all the different shadows, all the different fears, the specific fears that fuel those specific shadows, all 64, all in relationship to each codon. And in this wheel, you will find 4 legends on each corner because they can't all fit on one corner or one side to make it a nice, evenly balanced square. So here is the statements from each zodiac sign so you can see. And then we have the legend for each chakra. You'll notice that there are more than seven, and because there are more than seven, because it is including the spleen as a means to detect threats. So there's an intuitional center there. There's also a center of willpower called the thyroid, because when we are born, the thyroid is literally almost, if not as big as our heart. So we have to accommodate that. And on the other side of this, you will also find an understanding of the I Ching, the hexagram system, the different trigrams, the relationship to the three-dimensional plane, the yin and the yang, and how each of the six lines are affiliated with different archetypes, thanks to the human design and or gene key system. And lastly, you will also find the human genetic sequence chart for all the amino acids associated with the human genetic code. But furthermore, you will also find in this chart all the different zodiacs, all 12, mixed with the human design gene key chart. Bear with me, my graphics card is not as fast as other people's on their computer, but you will see all the different fears, all the different shadows, and how they relate to each chakra in those colorful little dots. So you can see how it affects each energy center in the body and how each of them have their own repressive and reactive statements because there are six expressions in each challenge. Therefore, you will also find those six lines in there, all with their own repressive and reactive statements, their associated dilemmas from that specific shadow, which eventually will clear up, the gift from making the right choices regularly and practicing that gift with its own unique self-empowerment statement. So as you learn to vacate the trapped emotions such as sadness, fear, anger, shame, and guilt, and you reorient towards true self-alignment and honoring the intuition and inner authority that you possess, it will lead you towards the grace specific to that challenge. So if you would like to learn more about this and or you would like to download this file for your own personal means of translating your specific challenges in the human design system or in the gene key system, it is all there for you. All you have to go is to my website and download this PDF file. It's about 50 megabytes in size. I hope you enjoy this and hope you enjoy this brief glimpse into this massive PDF with all the details about all the specific challenges you'll have in your personal self-realization path. In order to find this PDF, a link will be found down below in the description of the YouTube video. When using that elaborate and vast chart of information, you can use the human design apps found in the App Store on Google Play so that you can choose whichever speaks to you most. And as you choose whichever human design app works best for you, you can then use that towards the chart. So you get your information and your numbers. And then after that, you can use the chart as reference. For example, I use the human design app, which helps me see the specific numbers that I need to see in the top right-hand corner. The red are the unconscious. These are the ones that were imprinted when the soul decided to remain anchored in the body about 90 days before you were born, between the second and the third trimester. The black numbers indicate the conscious, more aware challenges that you know you have in your current life, based on your survival challenges and your adversities currently going on in your life. You can also find that same application in the Human Design App Store for iPhone and or iOS before you start using the chart that you have purchased online. Thank you very much. And if you ever need more information on this and you wanted a free consultation in understanding the current challenges in your life and how it relates to human design, feel free to reach out through the links below. You can also visit thegenekeys.com. There, you will also find a different kind of chart. It relates to the same challenges and same numerical sequences as found in the I Ching and Human Design. And there, you'll be able to find a free profile link where you can then enter in your personal information in this field and then have a look at your specific gene key profiles and understand your genus sequence, your Venus sequence in opening up your heart, your love sequence, prosperity, and finding inner harmony. Thank you for watching this short introduction into the Wheel of Evolutionary Change and the chart that I've shown you in brief. And hopefully through those apps and through this PDF, you will find a way to decode the challenges you face and understand how to make the best choices for you and everyone you are meant to impact positively in your life. Now back to the shadow work and the evolutionary change in this video. So why would something so heavy exist in the path of spiritual evolution? Because oppression is not punishment, it is compression. It's the evolutionary force that presses the soul so deep inwardly that only two choices remain: disintegration or transformation. In the context of physical evolution, the 47th pattern of evolutionary change represents a limitation point in our DNA, the inherited code of unresolved trauma. This isn't metaphorical, it's energetic and biological. Our body remembers what our ancestors suppressed. In the context of spiritual ascension, it acts as a threshold, a pressure chamber that refines our awareness, stripping away illusions, egoic control, and mental escape. We must go inward to rise upward. And so the oppression is not meant to destroy us, but to push us toward remembering. What makes this challenge so difficult? Fear. Not fear of death, but fear of the void, the unknown ahead and within, the abyss of feeling everything that's been avoided for generations. We can fear that if we let go of control, we'll fall apart. But the truth is, falling apart is exactly how grace enters. This fear manifests as overthinking, numbness, constant distraction, emotional outbursts followed by guilt, or deep exhaustion masked as "I'm just tired." The more we avoid the void, the more oppressed we become, until one day we realize the void was not empty. It was a sacred space waiting to be filled with light. This is not about bypassing pain. This is about honoring it. The 47th evolutionary pattern of change teaches us something radical. Suffering, when met with presence, transmutes into insight. Insight, when embodied, transfigures our entire state of being. Our pain has a frequency, and if we stay present long enough with it, if we stop running, that frequency begins to rise. We stop asking, why me? We start seeing, ah, this is for me. And in that shift, a new current enters our field. Grace. Not because you earned it, but because you made space for it. Why this matters collectively. You're not just clearing for yourself. You're transmuting ancestral memory. You are healing the broken lineage of those who couldn't cry, who had to be strong, who had to forget in order to survive. The more of us face our own inner oppression, the more we shift the collective energy field from fear to liberation. This is how evolution unfolds, not through force, but through grace. If this spoke to you, it's not by accident. You may be carrying this specific challenge in your design, or you may be just standing at the threshold of your own unraveling. So remember, you don't have to fix yourself, you just have to feel yourself. And in feeling, you begin to remember what's been forgotten. And in remembering, the light returns. If this touched something within you that made you start to well up in your eyes, or maybe even a few tears were shed, I welcome you to comment down below about what emotional weight you are learning to honor. Or share with someone who needs a reminder that they're not broken, they're just becoming. Please like and subscribe if you appreciated the words that I've shared with you today. I look forward to continue to serving you in providing more insight into all 64 patterns of evolution. Down below in the description, you'll find more information about this shadow and its challenges. You'll also find links to reach out in case you need a free consultation with me. There's also a website that you can explore so you can learn more about me, what I do, how I do it, and why. There are also 3 support groups for all of you. Spiritual divination systems, so you can understand how all 64 shadows can feel like an oppressive state of experiences in the human condition, and how to liberate the pain, the trauma, and the unprocessed emotions. The second is about emotional intelligence and mastery, so you can learn about how to process your emotions instead of keeping them locked inside and feeling oppressed by the weight of carrying them throughout your life. So you can learn how to have a better dialogue with them, work with them, and realize they're companions along your journey to manifesting the kind of life where you feel liberated. Lastly, emotional trauma release group, where everyone gets a chance to allow their feelings to emerge, their emotions to be spoken, and for the suffering to be alleviated so that one can create vacancy, one can experience transmutation, and experience transfiguration with more light and grace being integrated into the body. God bless you on your journey. Namaste, and good life to you all.